That's right.
So Jeff, it's nice to get to meet you finally. It seems like everybody knows you, except for me. And everyone says
He said the feeling's mutual.
everyone says Jeff Renz is such a great guy. That's what everybody says. So
Do they?
yeah, that's what they say.
We're really going to start this off with a lie?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. Well, I'm honored to be here, man. I've heard a lot about you and all the wonderful adventures and inventions, and I know our wives have been able to hang out some, and it means a lot to her, and I'm excited and honored to be here.
Yeah.
Despite the sidekick you got here, my president, my HOA
Listen,
president
I was about
right
to say,
here.
the funny thing is, if anybody in this room, we've been neighbors for as long as when did y'all move in?
We've been
us?
there. Yeah, I've been there 15 years.
Okay, well, I'm 9 years. So for 9 years, we've been neighbors.
Yeah,
9 years, and it took you to bring us together in the same room.
yeah.
Yeah, but I am admittedly his HOA president, and I don't know. He
We've hung out-
says I'm doing a great job, but
How is he doing as the HOA president?
Oh, God.
He's way better than the last guy. It's not saying much, but he's way better than
So
the
when
last
he,
guy.
He's not saying much.
so
No,
I don't know how you
he
become
does a
an
great-
HOA president.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I know Josh took it very serious.
He
I
has.
remember when he was
I still do.
considering it,
yeah.
considering doing it.
I still do.
Yeah,
It's
and he
important.
got it, and he tells me some of the stuff that goes on in the meeting, and I said, I think he cares more than any HOA president in history.
We had
anywhere.
some reality TV worthy HOA drama going
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, like Netflix series.
Yeah,
like,
it was-
like turn it into a podcast, spill the tea, people
Yeah.
love it. Insane.
Yeah.
Really?
And some of it's still going on, even though those people are not even on the board.
The remnant of it.
Oh,
or
it's
remnants is probably a better way
It's
to
like,
say it.
yeah, remnant, it's like, I'm not even going to go there. But yeah, I had so many descriptive adjectives right now, but we're going to keep it sanctified and nice and good, but no. But nobody should want to do it. Although I would like to have you on the board, just so you know, or your wife, one of the two.
I would.
He said
My
no.
wife is way more
Don't do it.
passionate about it than I am.
That's
She
a no.
do
That's a
great.
hard no,
Yeah.
Josh. He's not.
She's in real estate, right?
He's not going to
She
be.
is.
Yeah, so she knows
She
what
is-
should be.
Is more her lane and her
Yeah.
row.
I feel like she would
I'm
go
too
knock
nice.
on someone's door and just be like, "Hey, this is what's going on. You need to get your act in."
I'm afraid I'd get too pastoral in that moment. Just let you off
You'd
the
lay
hook.
hands on them.
Yeah, the fivefold ministry. No, I'm just kidding.
So our HOA is
Yeah.
very laid back. Our president died, and we didn't even know for like 3 months. No one knew.
That's not funny, but it's
It's awful. I hate
I'm
that.
sorry.
I gotta say something. I mean, R.I.P. him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry for your loss. But so he used to live across the backfield from me there,
okay.
and then my property kind of goes to a big triangle back there anyway. So one day he pulls up in my driveway, and I was doing something. He's like, "Take a walk with me."
Oh,
I'm like, "Okay." And then so we walk all the way back to the back of the property there. But then we walk over a little bit, and then he points to this tree branch. He's like, "See that branch right there?" I'm like, "Yes." He said, "It's about to fall down." I said, "Okay." And he says, "Well, you need to do something." I said, "Well, that's not even my tree." I said, "We're in the neighbor's yard." He made me walk all the way back there, put me on the spot. And then so I texted my neighbor. I said, "Hey, he's coming over. Don't answer the door."
You gave him a heads up.
Yeah.
what a good neighbor.
But he died. But that was my last interaction with him. So
Oh.
but it was friendly.
Okay, well, remind me never to move in this neighborhood.
Yeah. So where are you from?
I was born in Lakeland, Florida, but moved here when I was 5 or 6 for the ministry. My grandfather met Brother Swaggart around the same time I was born, and then Brother Swaggart offered him a job, and my grandfather moved when I was somewhere around between I was born and my sister was born.
So what
I
year
thought-
was that, you think?
Somewhere between. I was born in '79.
Mm-hmm.
I know they met in '79.
Okay.
I thought he took a job in '79, but I think maybe it was '81. I think when my sister was
Okay.
born.
So that was peak Jimmy Swaggart.
The
television.
beginning. The church wasn't.
Yeah.
It was the beginning.
Okay.
The church. It was
On the way.
steadily
The
growing.
peak was
Yeah.
like late 80s, I guess,
Yes,
when he was with
and
the president
I
and
would
on all the
need-
daytime
I would
the
need someone
evening
to
shows.
confirm this, but I think how it goes is Brother Swaggart was actually doing a crusade in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and my grandfather was one of the pastors he reached out to, and kind of cold turkey, they met each other. He helped with the crusade, and that's kind of how the relationship
Okay. And
started.
What, What's your grandfather's name?
Jim Rentz.
Jim Rentz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was Jim? Was he a pastor of a church there?
He had a little small church, and he was bivocational. He was a railroad electrician, and then he pastored the church.
Okay.
I think my dad and his two brothers, they lived in the nursery. So one of those whole worlds where ministry was life and life was ministry.
Yeah.
We still do that to this day, but it looks a little different. But they so that's what they were doing. And then my grandfather moved here.
Okay.
And then my grandfather got my dad a job, which what was called telecommunications back then. I think it's all IT now.
Pretty much, yeah.
But so dad worked on the telephones and the air conditioning systems.
Okay.
And it was crazy, man. There was fiber optics at the ministry back then.
Yeah, they were pretty
Like
much the peak of the tech back then.
Dad would have to call Bell South Mobility. I think would call my dad and ask questions because he had to learn it. It was there.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
Cutting edge, huh?
Cutting edge at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So
pretty crazy.
So I guess your grandfather Crusade came to town. I guess Jimmy Swaggart was doing crusades all over the planet, huge, filling coliseums. And he says, we're coming to Florida. And your grandfather was a contact there that somehow connected.
Yeah. He called pastors. You've seen all the classic crusades. There's a whole stage of pastors that he'd always reached out to, and so if memory serves me correctly, there's a version of this story that how
Well,
that happened.
this would be the official version. It sounds great.
It's the only one recorded.
Yeah, literally. So that's it. It's on record.
It's
Just
sealed.
rewrite it,
It's
it
sealed.
works.
No, but it's a version of that story.
Okay. And so then he gets offered to come help here.
Brother Swaggart asked him to come help. I think he actually helped lead the crusades for a while, and then they built the church and realized someone needed to pastor the church.
I see.
And I think that's when he started staying home from crusades and started helping pastor the church.
Your grandfather.
My grandfather.
Okay. And he was pastoring the local church here in Baton Rouge, Family Worship Center. Okay.
Yep.
What year did that? Was it 84, 85?
I want to say 84.
84? Okay.
Okay.
They started.
And at that time, they had, I guess, a Bible college growing.
It was beginning. All that kind of, it was kind of all, you built the sanctuary and then everything kind of got built around the same time. And, Gabe would be able to tell you better.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm one of those guys where I tell you something happened the other day and my wife was like, that was a decade ago.
Yeah, me too. And I'll tell it like slightly wrong too. I'll give fake news.
There's like that ADD side of it, that what I remember.
I'm bored with the thing
Yeah.
I'm currently saying. I'm already bored.
Yeah.
And inflating the story. Feel that.
That's where it comes from. So you've known Gabe since time immemorial, pretty much. Then.
We've pretty much grew up together. Yeah.
Okay,
Me, him, and
alright.
Matt. We'd run around acting like we owned the place, not knowing.
Y'all
what
the
was
same
going
age?
on.
How old are you?
So Gabriel's a whole 3 months older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks it. Huh.
No, not at all. He looks good, man. He's killing it.
That's what he
Yeah,
says.
man.
No, but y'all grew up together. Okay.
We
so
did. We
good.
grew up
All right.
together, and then life happens and transitions happen, and God moves you for seasons, and but we always maintained our friendship. So Matthew and I have always maintained a wonderful relationship. Gabriel and I has
So you grew up around that place, I guess.
I did.
You went to the school?
all the way up to 6th grade.
Okay.
Then they kicked him out.
Then they kicked me out.
Nice.
They said go back to fifth.
Well, that's wonderful. And how many kids do you have?
I have 4,
Yeah.
3
How old are
boys
they?
and a girl.
How old are your kids?
19, 17, 15, and 12.
Yeah. Are they all, I guess,
3 boys.
are they driving?
2 are driving full time. One's able to get his permit. We haven't actually taken him yet,
Oh boy.
but he's able to get his permit.
Okay.
How is that? Because I've got a 13-year-old. So very soon, this is coming up. I'm not ready for it. The first one. Is it as nerve-wracking as I've been told?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
I had an unfair advantage of being in the outdoor world. I started them on like side-by-sides and golf carts. And so like if you have that opportunity, I'd say start them there.
Well, you know where I live, so
Yeah.
there's not much opportunity.
Well, you can get a golf cart.
Not in our neighborhood. It's against policy.
Well, I know the
just don't
And
president.
he's the president.
I know the president.
Dude.
We just selectively don't enforce it.
He's needing something from me. I might have been his
I mean, yeah.
he's one-
Give me
he's
his
one-
number.
You should
please.
be the
Yeah.
only one in the neighborhood that's
That
allowed to
has
have a
one-
golf cart
This-
as the president.
We're
And
gonna-
put the
we're-
little president
Well,
seal
he's
on
not
it.
the only one because there's plenty of golf
No,
carts
there
running
are
around the
plenty of
road.
golf carts. We just choose selectively
But we
not
could put
to
like
enforce that.
we could put like lights on it and call it like the HOA patrol cart.
Yeah, he would do that. That would be funny.
That would be the dumbest looking thing.
Dude,
But it would be fun.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'd be riding around. Now, right now, my car, I think people look for it like, oh, great, here he comes. But wait, so yeah, so okay, so y'all hunt, right?
we
You're
do.
outdoors.
We do.
Do
We
you have like a camp you go to, a property?
yes, I have. We lease some hunting property.
Okay,
With my
alright.
family, my wife's family, and I lease some property.
So
together.
the boys, especially,
Yes.
grew up with all that.
Yes,
Okay, so not only can they shoot guns, bow and arrow.
they. Yes, they can do both. So
I don't
funny.
think we mentioned the arrow. I think we just say bow.
No,
Yeah.
no, you gotta be specific because I
Like,
have a
we
bow,
understand-
but I have no arrow.
Yeah, you don't say a bow and arrow.
No, I have a bow. I just don't have
I
an
feel
arrow.
like
And look at me. I have a
All right.
pocket knife, and I've never had to sharpen it. It's amazing. It's because it only opens Amazon packages.
oh,
You
is
know
that
the drill.
why?
Oh, you know the drill.
So, funny story about that. Both my older two boys are right-handed, but they were born left eye dominant.
Oh wow.
So-
okay.
I handed them a rifle, and they put it on this shoulder, but went with this eye.
Yeah, that's what.
So I was kind of at a crossroads. I'm like, am I going to teach them?
do I put him up for adoption?
Yeah, well, nah, I had too much money invested at the time. No, I'm just kidding. But
That's a dad answer
Yeah.
right there for sure.
I needed the tax write-off. But no, seriously, you either teach them to shoot left-handed or you train the right eye. And the thought just occurred to me, I'm going to get them both little small compound bows because you can't physically shoot a bow that way. You have to use the right eye to shoot a bow.
Okay.
And so I used a compound bow, like just a little one you buy at Academy, $40 one, little cheapo little one. And that's how I trained their right eye for them to aim with their right eye.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was fun.
Wow.
My bow's from like a John Smith Pocahontas dress-up set, so it's not the same thing.
Probably 30% of this podcast has been about bows, if we count when Gabe talked about bows. So we could.
Well,
This could
I
be a.
think this is where he got the idea.
People ask what this thing's all about. I'll be like, some of it's about bows.
Yeah, no.
And arrows.
Bows
Well,
and
I
arrows.
think
there.
I think it's about like there's things we need like therapy. Like I was telling you earlier, shooting a bow for me was therapy. Like there was times where I was going through like just rougher times in life, you know, ministry ups and downs, and I would go outside, put my target in my backyard, and I just shoot bows, and it was just very, very therapeutic for me. I think is the right
I want
word.
to do this now. I've never shot a bow.
Kind
Really
of just
have.
makes you got to clear your mind, you got to control your breathing. You know, you got to think, is the bow level? So it just forces you to focus on something else. And then, you know, the whole what's the old Mel Gibson movie, The Patriot, aim small, miss small. That goes through your mind. And so it was something I enjoyed doing. I haven't done it in a while. I need to restring my bow, and my injuries have kind of put that on hold. But I'm gonna try to get back into it.
Yeah. Well, your wife is wonderful, by the way. I got to meet her recently. And the way we connected is she reached out to my wife, and she
Yes.
said, I feel led. I think she said, I feel led.
Yes,
Or she had a dream. She didn't have a dream.
I think they met some way through the Moores.
Okay.
One time, I think Angela Moore had that Bible study, and I think they said hello or something to each other. And then Carlene, she comes to me. She goes, "This woman's going to think I'm crazy." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "The Holy Spirit's telling me to reach out to her on Facebook." And she goes, "He's told me 2 or 3 times, and I've fought it." And I'm like, "Well, baby, I don't think you have much of a choice in this situation. I think you're going to have to reach out." And so she reached out, and I think she started with, "I'm not crazy. I'm not stalking you," or something
Great
like that.
intro.
You know, but I feel like the Lord just wanted, you know, and of course your wife was more than kind. They went to lunch and kind of hit it off. And then I think your wife's in the mix, and
They had to pull in the brunette at some point.
I think they've all went walking, and
Oh, yeah.
it's been really cool to see what God's done
Yeah,
with
I
it.
think
Great conversations,
yesterday they had
guys.
lunch for 3 hours. She said,
Yeah.
or was it the day before yesterday?
Day before, I think.
Day
yeah.
before. Yeah, they had like a 3 hour.
It was day before, yeah.
Yeah. That's why you got jealous. That's why you texted us all. You were envious.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that.
No, you were probably like, Jessica's still at lunch.
No, I was
That's
happy
not fair.
about it.
I want to go to lunch with the dudes.
Yes.
Nice.
No.
No, maybe it was. No, it wasn't.
Hey, there's nobody
I
that
think
loves
we
their
know what
wife
the
more
president was really thinking.
No,
You-
look,
you
no
want-
one loves their wife more than Craig loves Jessica. I can tell you that right now.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something weird? That same day at pickleball, some random lady came up to me and said, "Hey, I had a dream about your wife," and I don't even know this lady. I'm like, "Oh, like." I was like, "Is it good or bad?" She's like, "I don't know. I don't remember." And that's all she said to me. I'm like, "That's kind of vague." And then I get home and Jessica says, "Yeah, Carlene reached out. She said she felt led." And I'm like, I thought maybe there's a percentage chance the Lord was going to tell Jessica through these women that she was too good for me. It's time for her to move on.
Why is that always in the back of our mind?
I know.
They're gonna find out who
We're
we
gonna
really
find
are.
out, yeah.
21 years later, I still have that thought in the back of my mind.
Poor Craig.
No, it just was a fleeting.
How long have y'all been married?
For 18 years.
18 years. How'd y'all meet?
She started coming to the church for like a year, and there wasn't a lot of people there at the time. And I looked over, and she was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And so I didn't talk to her for a year
Yeah.
because I was with the Lord.
Right. You were dating Jesus.
Yeah. And she anyway, after like a year, I don't know. I just asked her for her number, and I called her and I said, "Hey, let's go out on a date." And then I was so handsome and charming, she couldn't resist.
I can see that.
Then I made her marry me. Not that night, obviously.
You courted.
I quartered.
Oh, this is-
That's
But
a
yeah,
great
she's
story.
wonderful. It's been great. Yeah,
That's not how Jessica
she's
tells the
amazing.
story, but it's kind of close.
Yeah,
That-
she's. I guess God sees and I really feel like that she is the. I think God has a will for who we marry, who we end
Of
up
course.
with.
Yes.
But there's variations. It's not like you pick the wrong, and now you still have a free will and sort of a choice.
Yes.
I think she probably, now looking back over 18 years, having context, that she was the perfect will of God for my life.
Oh, yeah.
I really believe that, because the things she has built into her are the things that I'm
Yeah.
lacking. She just adds so much to me.
You're everything she's not. She's everything you're not. And that's how it's supposed to be. We've been married 21 years. And that's how God intends it. I tell godly men all the time, I know if God's in your heart when I look at your wife and she's about 3 levels higher than you are, then I really know you're saved.
Oh,
You know what
Craig,
I'm
you're
saying?
Definitely saved, bro.
I'm
You
very
are so
saved.
saved.
Well, I know I'm saved because I know the knucklehead that I am, and then I look at my wife, and she's everything I'm not. After 21 years of marriage, when we got together, we laugh about it because my wife's very strong-willed, very strong, very independent, knows what she wants, no nonsense. We have a saying in our house that she kind of you say what you mean and you mean what you say. And, and so she there wasn't a hill she wouldn't die on. And me kind of how I grew up, shoe on the other foot, kind of church life, pastor, everyone's got a story. I didn't die on enough hills. And so it's taken 21 years, but now we've kind of filled it out. And now together we die on the right hills, and together we're like, that hill's not worth dying on. That's not a hill we need to die on.
That's
So
cool.
she's helped me die on more hills that I needed to die on. But then now I've helped her, like, baby, is that really where we want to put our effort? Is that
Good balance. Yeah.
how's that gonna change the scheme of life? Like, is that really worth our fight? And then there's some fights that I didn't fight that I should have fought, and because of her influence in my life through the Holy Spirit, it's like, no, we charging this hill. We're gonna get a little spirit of Caleb on us. We're gonna take this hill.
I love that.
Yeah.
Josh, you want to say anything about your wife or no?
Oh, you don't
She's
know,
okay.
incredible.
No, she's great.
She's okay. Oh.
No, I'm saying from your. I want to give you a
No,
chance.
no,
We're
you
not going
said
to air
that, not
this.
me.
We're not going to air this nice things we say about our wives. We're going to cut this out. We don't want them to get their heads too big.
Yeah.
I think this is the only part that is worthy of airing at this point.
I know.
If
I'm
you
joking,
want my
of
opinion.
course. I'm joking, of
look,
course.
the
That
only
is
reason I'm
probably
here-
true.
I'm here just to verify what y'all are saying is accurate. So far, so good. Keep it
Okay,
up.
good.
Keep it
Okay,
up.
thank you.
And y'all know Bethany. She's incredible.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
puts up
she
with
is.
me, and that genuinely is like amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just gonna say it that way. But yeah, that's enough about Bethany and me.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Yeah.
Well,
We've been married as long as y'all.
His wife and my wife became best friends years ago, and they they do everything together. Twins.
I love it.
Travel
Yeah,
together.
pretty
They do
much.
ballet.
Sweet.
They're at ballet right now.
You need, like, y'all need that. Like, you got to have that one couple,
It's true.
that one ride or die couple.
It's true.
You know, you have other friends. You have friends that come in, come out. You have seasons, and you can have other friends that, you know, like we're all six of us are kind of become friends. We've all went to lunch together, hung out, and you have that. But then never lose what the four of you have
We have
together.
that group text.
You know,
thing.
protect that bond, because it's
Well-
accountability when you need it.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
life when you need it. Like, you're never doing life alone. You know, because sometimes even in marriage, you can feel like you're doing life alone. You can feel like, you know, you're not vibing. You're not. And if you have that one accountability, that one other couple that you're walking alongside with, y'all can kind of just help. We can kind of help keep each other between the buoys.
That's
Okay,
true. Well, you'll
that's cool.
appreciate this for sure. You know, just talking about generally church
Mhm.
folk. You know, they can be the best people and also not so great all the time. But the fact is, you get a lot of, especially if you're involved in any kind of ministry work.
Yeah.
You got people that look at you and I don't want to say they judge you, but there's an expectation, right? There's an expectation that's set, and I guess people do kind of judge you at the end of the day. Well, why I'm bringing that up is because for the longest time, Bethany and I really didn't have any friendships or relationships
Right,
for that
yeah.
reason. So Craig and Jessica came along, and it was actually, I got to give Craig credit because he's the one, we were actually going to a Bible study together.
Yeah.
And you said it I remember you said it randomly. You're like, hey, we need to get together. I think our wives would really like each other.
Right.
And I'm in the back of my mind thinking, you know, kind of been burned. So, but we ended up having lunch, and it just, everybody hit it off. It was great. And so, I don't want too much bromance to happen here because it happened last time. It was embarrassing. But I really do appreciate the just judgment-free
Yeah.
genuineness
All
of
right.
Craig and Jessica. And there's not a lot of people like that. Just
No,
really.
there's a lot of judgment.
Well-
it's not judgment free. We just don't.
Trusted judgment. Trusted. It's trusted.
That's actually a great qualification. I trust the judgment,
Yeah.
but it's not condemnation. There's no
If it, well,
sense
put it
it's
this way, we have a
passing.
group text together, and if he ever runs for office, we all have promised to delete it.
No,
Yeah.
if I ever run for office and win, they all have cabinet positions. It's like it's in whatever you
We have
guys
leverage-
want,
we have
we'll
leverage
be
with
doing
this
it.
group
Exactly.
text.
Oh, blackmail for years. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but it's true. Like, it's funny. I think what happens when you're in ministry, people see you at a certain way, and they're, without lack of a better word, because I'm not trying to dog anyone, but in their small-mindedness, they put natural people in supernatural positions in their heart.
Oh wow, yeah.
And so what happens is they look at you in a certain way, they look at us in a certain way, and it's like they put us on a pedestal we never belonged to be on.
So true.
Yeah.
So we're trying to be human, we're trying to make a connection,
Mm-hmm.
but then we're human, so we don't meet everyone's expectations the way we should. And then what happens is we end up getting hurt. They get upset and we get hurt.
Well, they get let down.
They get let
from
down.
their
and
own
then-
self-imposed
and
expectations.
then we get hurt.
And then we get hurt.
Yeah. And,
And
then they
so-
go around and tell all those other
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and there's a lot
That
of
can
little.
happen too.
So Carlene and I felt the same way for years. Like, we just felt like we never found our tribe. And probably 3 years ago, there's been two couples, two families that for the last three or so years, we do life together.
That's good.
His name's Jeff as well, so it's funny. We're the two Jeffs, and their name's Jeff and Jody Lejeune. He owns Green Up, the Green Up
Okay.
Lawn Care.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
see all the trucks everywhere.
They do my lawn.
Okay.
Yes, Green Up's the best, man.
Dude, they've been
They're
great.
the best.
Okay.
And them, and then Mark and Terry Hollingsworth. You know, Norman Neal and Nancy Neal in the
Yes,
church.
absolutely.
Terry's Norman and Nancy's daughter.
Yeah.
Mark,
Wow.
they own
Okay.
Gateway, the Gateway Daycare in Prairieville
Yeah.
that does
Okay.
so well.
Nice.
Okay.
So Mark Hollingsworth, his brother is Mike Hollingsworth,
Mhm.
who owns Hollingsworth Richards,
I got you.
or the Hollingsworth side of Hollingsworth
Okay.
Richards Ford. So,
Okay.
but so those two couples have we kind of have what you guys
Good.
have, but we felt that it takes a while in life to find the right couple, and I think the older you get, the smaller your circle gets, and I think it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, I think you're right. Have you all like traveled together, vacations?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
we've
when
done
you
the
really
whole
find
beach.
out.
And they have all girls, we have all boys, so it's kind of
Oh, nice,
funny.
okay.
They have 3 girls, 2 twin girls. Mark and Terry's got a daughter and a son. They're married, and their kids are a little older, married. Their daughter married Hunter Kinchin, and they live here. But then their son's studying to be a doctor,
Okay.
and so he's off doing his. He's in
Yeah.
Birmingham right now.
Yeah, that's cool. So recently you came over to Family Worship
I
Center.
did.
Jimmy, so you came back to, so you left with your family in the 90s, I guess?
Somewhere around there.
Whatever. And
My
then
I was young. I was probably 11, 10 or 11.
Okay. So
When we
your grandfather
transitioned.
was like the main pastor at over Jimmy Swaggart's home church, and Jimmy Swaggart was out doing crusades, I
Yeah.
guess. And then I guess did Jimmy Swaggart come home, and then your grandfather went and been part of another
Just
one?
felt like a season ended.
Okay.
He just felt like his season had ended, and then so we just kind of followed him as a family.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I was young at the time. I was just doing what I was told.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he transitioned from there in a season of traveling to other pastors in the United States and really helping a lot of hurting pastors
okay.
and helping them. And then in the process, Pastor Dino Rizzo, which was also at Family Worship Center, he was the Crossfire, the youth pastor of Crossfire. The Lord had removed him as well, and he felt led to plant a church. And so I was fortunate enough, me and my family, we helped him plant what was Trinity Christian Center, but is now Healing Place Church.
Oh, wow.
And so I was a part of that plant from the beginning. I was probably 12 when we started that plant, somewhere in there. And I say I helped, but I was probably in the way more than I helped at the ripe old age of 12 of
You
planting
moved
a
some
church.
chairs, I'm sure.
Oh, I've
Carried
moved
some water.
more chairs than I care to remember.
You're the chairman, right?
I told people for a while I was the oil change pastor. You know,
Oil
when
change
we
pastor.
started getting few vehicles, but I was able to be a part of that journey and that process, and it was great. And I was there God kept me there for over 30 years.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful place now. It's a beautiful campus. And I guess they have multiple campuses around.
There is.
Okay.
There's 4 international, and then there's a few here local. And
Okay.
God's been very kind and very well.
You've
Nice.
done international ministry
I was the
work, right?
missions pastor for 12 years. Yeah,
For 12 years, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Wow.
traveled and oversaw our international campuses.
So
and
you would take
teams.
people who were interested in doing
We had teams, yes. I didn't lead very many teams myself. I would go more because the summers they were full of teams. I would go more in the non-summer,
okay.
deal with business, pastoral side, go help with the staff thing, go do this, go do that.
Wow. Did you have to
Preach.
sort of establish how all of that worked, or did someone else? Is there a? I'm
No,
curious
it
about
was-
that.
No. One of the campuses I helped establish. Another campus was just being established, so it was kind of on the brink. Most of it was already there. I just kind of reshaped and remolded with the time.
Yeah. What I'm more curious about the mission stuff. So someone says, "I feel led to go to Africa, or whatever."
Yeah.
So would you go to Africa? I'm just saying dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about. But
No, you're good.
I'm hypothetically go there, find a local person to meet with, figure out ways for people to stay and how to travel there and not get murdered.
wants logistics
Like, what's
here.
the safe areas? I'm just curious
I
about
would
how
always
that works.
base it off a relationship.
Okay.
So, like, you came to me and said, I feel called to Africa. Well, that's a very blanket statement because you can fit the United States like
Yeah.
4 or 5 times or something like
Big
that in the whole continent of Africa. So I'm going to ask you, okay, where do you feel that? South Africa, West Africa, North Africa? You know, you're going to say South Africa. I'm going to say, okay, I got 4 pastors right now I can connect you with.
Oh, I see.
And then you go serve under one of them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never the guy that's going to tell you, yeah, go start your thing. I believe freely in serving under someone else's authority and going to learn, you know, culture and learn. So I would say, go here, take your family, go here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, an extended time See what God shows you, tells you. Whatever this man asks you to do, you do it. A little old school.
That's wisdom.
Yeah, you know, and then see what God does from you. And then from there, see what happens. Depending on your age, like if a 21-year-old told me they're called to Africa, I'd send them to another country. Go serve this pastor in this country. If you can serve in this country, if you can make it,
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't necessarily. There's something, in my opinion, we do people an injustice when we put them right in what they think their dream spot is. See, guys, in my opinion, guys have got a process, and each step prepares us for the next. And what happens is if we get to our dream too fast, it's no longer a dream, it's a headache because we skip the process and we're not prepared. So something like that, I would send you through a process first to get you ready and to go. And then, you know, eventually you would get to where God's,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, well, so one of my friends, he loves Mexico. He was called to this village down there, and he connected with this pastor who ran a big orphanage down there. But the thing is the whole area was controlled by the cartels.
Always.
And so that pastor had an arrangement with the cartels for safety. He understood how, and so if you wanted to go there, it's definitely wise to go with someone like that.
Relationship is key.
Who understand, and you want to listen to that guy and understand how to do it. So you don't
His every word.
hurt. You know, so
Yeah.
anyway, well, very interesting.
Now, are these people that are feeling called to, I guess, the fivefold ministry, or is it just anybody that would come to you in the church, like just part of the laity that just says, I just feel this calling to travel, to go somewhere else? Both. What was the dynamic of that?
You had some of those, but I wouldn't send those. I mean, you know, you gotta tell the difference between a calling and a moment. You know, there's people who see something. You've had people go on mission trips and fall in love with kids and like, I'm called there. No, you're not called there. You enjoyed that. You may be called to go back on another trip, but I don't think God's calling you full time. It's bigger than just, I love those kids, I want to be there. There's got to be a heavenly, heavy, cross-bearing burden that you carry, you know, to do that. Missions, the first thing you learn about the mission field, whatever's this big in your life here, is about that big on the mission field. So if insecurity in your life is like this, it's about like this on the mission field. You know, if you're struggling with something about like this, then it's, and so you have to be very careful who you send and what you send. And to me personally, that's why like missionaries sometimes can have a bad rap, because what you have sometimes in the past, not so much now, I think it's better, but 80s, 70s, in the 80s, 70s, you had pastors who wouldn't make it here because their doctrine was off or they weren't good pastors. So they go over there somewhere and they would create their own world.
Yeah, yeah.
And from afar it looked awesome, but down deep it was doing more damage. Like our campus in Honduras, we fight bad religion more than we fight anything.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was the missions pastor, you know, it was crazy. Yeah. You know, you had a witch doctor, you had something like one or two over there, you cast it. Even you spend more time fighting bad biblical, non-biblical, but in the name of the Bible,
right, doctrine,
and it's like, no, that's not true.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of somebody right now that what you just said is so accurate. Well, you know it's accurate. I wouldn't have said it, right? But it's so accurate. You know, I watched them get an opportunity, and it was in a country in Africa. And number one, because they were from the United States, as an American, that was just, you know, the big plus. They look at things coming from America as being a big deal. And then this person also had some resources. They had a little money. And they were able to buy, essentially, a lot of influence. And but really what was so sad, they didn't see it. And it was some insecurities and things, but they were just exploited. They were just used for their connections, their resources, to draw this, to do that. And at the end of the day, the only thing that happened was they lost money. Yeah. They lost opportunity, ended up getting hurt.
They probably felt used and abused.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a good way to sum it up. And it did a lot of damage. So
probably came home, needed some counseling, needed some hurt.
It's one of those things where
Some help, I mean.
The how did you say it? There's the calling and then there's the moment. What did you say?
There's a difference between a moment and a call. Like,
Yeah.
you go on a mission trip. Like, I went to, the first time I went to Africa, it was 21 years ago. It was right before we were pregnant with High. And something got in me. Like, there's a special thing about Africa that I will never lose from that moment. But I also got back on the plane knowing that doesn't mean I'm called to Africa. I may be called to go back and come back. But there was never a part of that tug that told me I was called to. And some people just don't know the difference.
That makes sense.
They go there, they fall in love with something, but they just don't realize, okay, that's God used me. I was there for that moment. It was about that
Right.
moment.
Yeah.
Or I'm supposed to help missions always. There's always a mandate on us to do something
I see.
mission wise, but not all of us are called
Yeah, that makes sense.
to full time.
So, so you remain friends with Gabriel throughout all these years, and then I guess you guys were chatting, and he recently he said, "Hey Jeff, come help me out.
So-
I'm trying to do this."
I'll put it in his words. It started at my grandfather's funeral and was solidified at his grandfather's funeral. So, we were friends, years. Our friendship stayed constant, but there were seasons it was closer and seasons it wasn't. Like, you would kind of, just life, especially when poor buddy, he started becoming Dr. Gabe. I mean, that whole journey, his whole last
Becoming Dr.
8
Gabe,
years
yep.
or so,
Yep.
life has just been crazy for him. It's just been amazing to see what he's done, and his stamina and his endurance and his integrity through all of this.
Yes.
Just
And that's just his workout routine.
yeah, and I mean, it's just for real. Like,
Yeah.
he's
we
he's a
really
strong-
like. I've always really liked him. I was in the Bible college the same time that he was there, and I've
That's
always
cool.
Yeah, but he's always behind the scene. He's the most genuine. He's the kindest. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just a good overall guy that you really like.
yeah. And so, long story short, I mean, it's really a cool story. Long story short, I preached my grandfather's funeral. He called me. He says, "Hey, I'm bringing my grandparents." I said, "Come on, we'll take care of them." And when I spoke, I felt led to honor Brother Swigert for what he's done for our family. And so I was able to say some very kind things to Brother Swigert on behalf of our family. And I just do what God told me to do. And then a week or so later, Gabe and I went to lunch. And he was very kind. He said, "No one's ever really honored my grandfather that way." And I'm like, what? So that kind of sparked something in us both. We realized there was, our friendship kind of reconnected at a stronger level then. And then throughout these last 3 or 4 years, we've just kept talking and casting vision together, what I'm doing, what he's doing. And fast forward to end of last year, I started feeling uncomfortable where I was, just in myself. And then it's end of January, beginning of February, and my cousin dies in Miami. And I'm supposed to go to a conference with some of the Healing Place team and in West Palm Beach. And so I fly in. They're like a few days apart. So I'm able to fly in, do the funeral. Then I drive over to West Palm and meet them. And we're in this conference. And all of a sudden, I just feel shift. I feel the word shift. And then I started feeling like I don't belong. And I'm like, okay, I'm tired. My cousin's, because I preached my cousin's funeral. I'm like, maybe that took more out of me than I thought it did. Like, you have all these questions. I'm like, God, are you speaking to me? And he says, yes, I am. And so he's like, you don't, just wait, shift. So we get back on a Friday. That Tuesday, I end up in some meetings talking about some transitions we're going to do and some shifts that affected me, not just structure stuff, just everyday work stuff. And I was like, okay, God, this is weird. Is this the shift? And then he didn't answer, and I felt led to pray and fast. So for the next week or so, I went home every day for lunch and got on my knees and prayed and fasted, and cried out to God. And at the end of that week, I felt like it was the beginning of the shift. So didn't know what that meant. Gabe and I meet up and we start talking, and he can just tell I was troubled, you know, because I'm just still praying through all this. What's God doing? What's going on? And so he's like, "Are you okay?" So we start talking. I just tell him where I'm at. And then he's like, "Do you think you'd ever want to do something with me?" I said, "Dude, I'd love to work with you." At the time in my head, I didn't think the thought going on staff at JSM never crossed my mind. I just didn't. I don't know why. I just didn't. But so then I'm at another conference a friend of mine asked me to come to, and there was a man of God there, a prophet, a true old school, old time prophet. And some way, somehow, he felt led to pray for me and speak a word over me. And this is the first. I've had people speak words of encouragement. I've had people kind of say some things. I've had one other guy. This is probably the second time in my life I've truly had a word like a a man of God prophet word. And I've never had this happen in this intensity where, like, he's never met my family, and he just starts going through my kids and nailing it on the head. He's like, your oldest, he's about to make a big shift, isn't he? And I'm like, well, yes, sir. Today's his last day of school, like, senior. It was around that time of year. He's about to go to college, play football. He's like, he's right where he's supposed to be. I have that boy. His name's Highland. He says, I'm taking the boy to the Highlands. And just confirming things we'd already felt in Highland. He goes to my next son, talks about nails him and says, I'm going to use him. Talks about my third son. He's different than the other two boys. Yeah, he is. And says, I'm going to use that boy for this. He goes, your daughter has a heart of worship on her like her mother. I'm like, yes, she does. My wife's also a worship leader. Currently helps lead worship at her dad's church a lot and stuff. So, and then he talks about my wife, and then he gets to me and tells me, you've been a very good man. This is him talking. I hate talking about myself, so it's not like the Jeffrey Bragg hour.
No, we got it.
He goes, you've been faithful. You're a good pastor. You're loyal. You've been faithful. You don't quit things. You don't quit people. You don't quit things. He says, but you've been unsettled. And you're wondering, is God moving you? There's some things that you see that you don't like. They're not wrong, but you don't like. And by this time I'm bawling like a baby. And he says, and you're questioning whether or not it's you. And I said, yes, sir, I am. And he goes, it's not you, says the Lord, it's me. He says, I'm moving you. I'm closing your chapter at Healing Place. I'm closing it now, even as we speak. And I'm opening a door now, even as we speak. Don't be scared to walk through it and knock harder.
Wow.
And my eyes just go. And so walk out of that room not knowing what that means or where that goes. And then, so come back, and then Gabe starts talking to me about a position. I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is it. Then we kind of talked about some stuff and kind of felt like maybe yes, maybe no, wasn't sure. We were both still praying. Then he came back, and then Brother Swaggert's 90th. They asked me to bring my grandmother to the back, which was her old office. Where they do the makeup was my grandmother's old office. It's kind of crazy. And so she's speaking to Brother Swaggart and Sister Swaggart, and they're kind of catching up. And Matthew's in town for the 90th, obviously. And he walks by and sees me and comes back and just starts hugging me. Tears in his eyes, crying. And I've told him this, but we laughed. But my initial thought was like, Matthew, it hasn't been that long since we've seen each other, bro. I mean, I love you and I miss you too, but like,
He's hugging and crying.
yeah, like I'm like, thank you. But then he looked at me and he said, man, I feel something. a good heaviness is what he called it. I feel something good. I feel something heavy. And I was like, okay, wow. And when Matthew says that, you listen. Matthew's very in tune. He's a very strong prayer guy. Matthew knows what the Spirit's doing. He's very in tune. He prays. He seeks God. So when he said that, I was like, okay, God, what are you up to? We go sit down. We're in the middle of praise and worship of that morning. And I feel the Lord tell me, I just feel the Lord speak this to me. And I lean over to my wife and I said, I think, what if God has a sense of humor? She says, what do you mean? I said, what if he calls us back here? And Gabe and I do a 2.0 version of what our grandfathers did. And my wife looked at me and goes, absolutely not. No, that's not going to happen. I don't see that. Like, not even like we don't want to be there, but like, how's that going to fit? How's that going to look like? That doesn't make, like, why would they?
So at the time, that just, the pieces didn't fit.
Yeah, for her, it didn't fit. Yeah. So we go home. Now, her parents are with us. My father-in-law used to be the choir director at Family Worship Center.
Okay.
So they were behind us and being celebrated. So we go home, eat lunch, whatever, come back. I think that's when Pastor Jensen spoke that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we said, hey to everyone. We're sitting in the seats. And then Gabe and I make eye contact in the middle of praise and worship again. We kind of head check each other. And then all of a sudden, here he comes. Off the stage. You know how he does sometimes. Off the stage. It's my grandmother. It's me and my wife. He passes me and my grandmother, hugs my wife, greets her, goes back to my grandmother, greets her, then looks at me almost with the same heaviness and tears that Matthew had. And he goes, you know this is home, right? You know this is where you belong. And goes back to his stage. And this time, like, my wife's eyes are like this big now. And so we're still praying, seeking, crying out to God. And then he calls me back again. He goes, okay, I've got it figured out. I think we got I think we can do this. And so we took our time because then his grandfather wasn't doing good. Mm-hmm. And when Brother Swaggart died is when God revealed the plan to my wife. And we were walking in our neighborhood and she's like, I see it now. This is what God has for us. As sure as I know when I knew God told me to marry you, I hear him say this is the path he has for us. Wow. And so it was like the Monday before, like the celebration or whatever, the celebration live and everything. And I called Gabe and I said, man, we've been talking and I haven't said these words to you yet. And again, not trying to make this moment or anything about me, but like, I feel like this is God. So like when we get through all this, if this is something you still want to pursue, and man, instantly I heard the change in his voice. It brought joy. It brought excitement. And, and then we just followed out the steps, took our time, wanted to honor Healing Place and the staff there, Pastor Mike and, Rachel. We've done a lot. He and I have done a lot of life together. He was with us pretty much from the beginning. He was in college when we first started the church, Healing Place, but when he got out of college, so wanted to honor that time and that transition. And so kind of slowly stepped off staff there. Took a few weeks to kind of in between. And then 1st of September, we haven't looked back. God's been good. And I texted him yesterday and told Gabe it's still hard to believe we get to do this every day together. Yeah. And it's an honor that I have, and I see what God's wanting to do at JSM and at JSVC and at FWC and even in SB, all the acronyms.
Of outreach, yeah.
Yes, all the acronyms. I feel like we're on the cusp of something.
Yeah.
I think the Holy Spirit, you're about to see an outbreak of something that we can't explain. We've heard words spoken, but even before those words, it's just something special is about to happen. And I'm just thankful that God's allowing a knothead like me to be a small part of it.
I don't think you're knothead, but so you were helping You said oil change and help with logistics,
So-
and at some point I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So at some point you became a pastor. You felt, I guess, at some point you felt called into ministry, teaching.
So that story goes. Dino actually took a job, said yes to a job in Chicago. And this is before cell phones. There was a great church up there that wanted him to come be like an associate or youth pastor.
And that's Dino Rizzo. That's
Dino
the
Rizzo, Pastor
He
Dino.
was the
He's
pastor
founder of Healing
Place?
Place. Yeah,
Okay.
him and Delenn founded and planted Healing Place Church. And so my mom tells me we're driving to school, and I forgot it till she reminded me, and now it's so vivid in my mind. We were driving on we used to live off of O'Neill Lane back in the hood.
Yeah.
Actually, Jonathan Steele lives in my old neighbor. He's trying to sell his house. So if y'all watching this, y'all need to help Jonathan Steele sell his house.
We only have 8 viewers, by
Yeah.
the way. So
Hey, that's
any of our 8
perfect.
viewers know someone looking for a house.
Yeah. So
It's 8 possibilities.
all 8 of
man.
you need to go in and buy this house. But anyway, we were going under the interstate, under Millaville on I-12, headed kind of towards Airline. And she's like, Dino took a job. And I said, no, he didn't. She goes, yes, he did, son. I said, no, he's not. He's going to come back here and plant a church, and I'm going to work there. And my mom looked at me and was like, no, son, he took the job. What we didn't know, because there was no cell phones, God woke him up at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go home and plant church. So he was staying at the pastor's house. He was so sick and nervous. He went and beat on the man's bedroom door in the middle of the night. He's like, man, I can't take the job. I'm sorry. Talk about an awkward moment. But so that was kind of when I knew I was called to ministry. Then Dino asked me to serve as like an armor bearer type thing to him. So unofficially, I did that for many years. And then I did the facilities. I helped with men's ministry. I just grew up we did it all together back then, and just cutting our teeth on ministry, serving people and helping others. And
So how do you see your role coming over to this situation here? It looks like you're kind of feeling it out.
Filling out, still trying to learn. I feel like I'm supposed to help. I feel very strong to help Gabe, with all of it, whatever that means or however that looks.
There's a lot to help with.
Yes. And, the ministry is an amazing place. I told Gabe the other day, we've all paved roads, right, in our lives. There's roads we've paved. I've paved the road. You've paved the road. But all of our roads started off of someone else's road. We were able to get to a certain point and say, okay, this is my turn off. I'm going to start paving from here.
Yeah.
Most of those roads come from JSM,
Wow.
Brother Swaggart.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the story for a lot of people.
And
It really is.
there's very few people in the world that have just paved a road from scratch. They didn't start on someone else's road, and Brother Swaggart's one of them.
That's true.
So he paved this road. God used him to pave this road, and so much ministry
Yeah.
comes out all over the world, not just here.
He trailblazed it.
He
cut
trailblazed
down
it.
the trees and cleared a path.
Yeah, so
It's true.
just kind of like what the Lord told me, like a 2.0 version of what our grandfathers did. It's kind of what I feel led to help do, to support and represent both the ministry and the family. I love the whole family. I love Matthew. I love Gabriel. Jennifer and Carlene are friends. I love Debbie. Brother Donnie, I've known him for years. I actually put a four-wheeler in their garage door when we were kids, and he still lets me come around. One time, I don't remember how old we were, but my grandparents and brother and sister Swaggart took me and my sister, and all 3 of them. We went to the beach for a week. There's plenty of memories and plenty.
Right.
I wouldn't know. I cut my teeth and learned how to do ministry at Healing Place, but I wouldn't have the love of God, and there wouldn't be that opportunity without Family Worship Center, without Brother Swaggart believing in this whole clan of us, the Rences, Brother Wayne Austin, Dino and Delenn Rizzo, and even Mike. Mike went to high school. Mike graduated from FCA.
Yeah.
He was,
Really?
yeah. He
Oh,
there
okay.
should be pictures of
Okay.
him and like Daisy Dukes playing basketball and
Lovely.
with his tongue. He thought he was Jordan back then. His tongue was always out when he shot the three.
Well, I've seen him in the gym up the street here. I go to the same gym, believe it or not. I've seen him pump some iron from a distance. It's impressive.
Yeah, he that's his thing.
Yeah,
he
he's
loves to pump.
definitely-
But so to answer your question, all that kind of leads back to I just feel like I'm supposed to help with that.
Okay.
Just help be there because I think God's about to do something.
Well, there's
big.
definitely a lot of change happened. That has happened. And is
Yeah.
happening.
And you're going to continue to see good change. The DNA is not going to change. Who the ministry is and the mandate on the ministry is not going to change. But there's just going to be some shifts and changes of the season
Right.
that match, that are Holy Spirit and God driven.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to change. I told Gabriel the other day, I said, we're still relevant. We just got to show the world we're still relevant. I think some people can think JSM, JSBC, all that's a little caught up. You know, that was for back then. No, it's still for today. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. So I'm loving what I get to do at JSBC, working with that team, trying to help grow relationships. And, you know, they've asked me to help with like some recruiting stuff as well. And so just trying to, you know, I have no idea what I'm doing, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
That's
let
the
God,
fun of it, right? That's
yeah,
the
just
fun,
trying to
yeah.
let God lead, guide, and direct.
So I guess the place where you were before was Assemblies of God, kind of like.
Non-denominational.
Okay, but it's kind of they follow the same doctrinal stuff as
For the
family
most
worship?
part,
They're like
yeah.
the same
Yeah.
thing. You remember? I'm just curious. I'm always curious about this perception. But you remember like the early 2000s, so late 90s, early 2000s. Do you remember the ministry? I don't know if you heard the story, but it was Brother Lauren and Brother Jimmy were doing a radio show together, and God unfolds this. I mean, it was a process, but ultimately unveils this revelation about the cross and about
message of the
sanctification.
cross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about how to be transformed and how. And then it became sort of it started to explode.
Yeah.
We ended up getting 80 every day. I remember it was like, oh, we got 3 more radio stations. We got 5 more radio stations. I remember, it was this big buzz. I was curious if you heard a lot about that. That was before the SBN. Were you guys hearing that?
Oh yeah, I'm sure we were. Do I remember much about it? No, at that age I was, I was working and had my head down at the church and going to school and stuff.
I got you.
But no, I remember the buzz, and I remember the revelation, and I remember how it set people free, and it's needed because there is so many different versions of out there, and we can water it down, but at the end of the day, Jesus paid it all at the cross. It was all born, there's still battles we have to fight as humans here in this imperfect world, but the war was won at the cross. And people have to know that. People have to see that. And that revelation and that niche of that calling, is something very special, unique, and heavy.
Yeah.
It's nothing to take lightly. And I think that's why you see such a conviction about it at the ministry, because it's true. And unfortunately, not everyone teaches that. And we can sometimes water it down, and sometimes, Paul says, determine your own salvation through fear and trembling. And I think we can take that too far. Yeah. And we can kind of think we can edit the Bible and kind of take out what we don't want. Oh, no, I don't like that. One's not for me. You can have that part, but
it's a nice buffet line, right?
Yeah, but no, you got to take Genesis 1 all the way through Revelations.
That's right.
I love it. Well, brother, anything else you guys want to talk about?
You didn't tell us how you met your wife.
Okay.
That's important.
That's a funny story. We knew each other at Family Worship Center. We were at FCA. We were grade lowers. We knew of each other, I should say. I'm almost I'm right at 2 years older than her. I'm 2.5 years older than her. And so we knew each other. Well, then, long story short, she ends up at LSU, and a mutual friend of ours brings her to a college Christmas party at Healing Place. It was our college ministry at the time was called Journey. And so she comes to Journey, and I'm like, hey, I know you. And she's like, hey, I know you. And we kind of, there's a little spark there, a little hit. So we kind of started talking, and then we started dating. And guys, I fell hard. I ain't gonna lie, I fell hard. And I was way too mushy, way too quick. Like, girl, I love you. Man. And so she couldn't
Sound effects and all.
She couldn't stand it. Like, I was just way too lovey-dovey, too quick. So we joke and say I was too nice and she was too mean, because she was not like. It frustrated her, and it was apparent that was frustrated with her. So we dated for a semester, and we broke up. And so she kind of hung out with a few different guys. I tried to, when I say tried, I tried to force myself to date one or two more girls. I hated it.
Not force them. Force
No,
yourself.
No, like, yeah. No, it was all holy. But no, seriously, I tried to, go on a few dates. It just didn't feel right.
Well,
And I said,
smitten.
well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I joked earlier about when I said you dated Jesus, but literally that's kind of what I did. I kind of had to get to the point where, like, you know what, God, this is in your hands. You've got so I grew then. I think what happens is people meet at a certain point, but they need to grow a little more.
Oh yeah.
So they need to, as we look to God, he kind of brings us back together. And what I learned is you can't go back to where if she and I went back to where we broke up, we'd have the same problems we did. God had to move us both down the road. So about 8 months later, he brought our worlds back together. It was actually her. She kind of realized, hey, I messed this up. And so she did, man. One night after church, she got in my truck. And I don't even know why I bought this truck, but I loved it. It was an F-150, regular cab, four-wheel drive. But it had the V6, and it was a standard. I used to make that thing pull stuff like it was a diesel. I threw the rod, I threw the rear end in that thing. I tore that thing up. But anyway, she gets in that regular cab truck, and she says these words. She goes, I made a mistake. God spoke to me. You're the one I'm supposed to marry.
Wow.
I shouldn't have treated you like that. And I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And I said, are you finished? She said, yeah. I said, well, you're right. You did hurt me. And I'm sorry you feel that way, but I don't date the same girl twice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. She wanted a mean guy. I'm going to give her a mean guy, right?
Yeah.
And so, I was like, I
You
don't.
got an apology and then did that?
Yeah.
You're my
Yeah.
new idol.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Aim higher.
got-
Then she really
Aim
liked
higher,
you.
Josh.
man,
Aim
you're my
higher.
new goal. Hashtag
But
goals.
anyway, yeah. Bethany, he does not mean that. But
No,
anyway,
of course she does.
so what happened is after I said all that, as calmly as she could be, she goes, well, I know what God told me, so I'll be waiting. And she got out my truck. And when that door closed, it was like the Holy Spirit went all like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali on me. And I felt like something just.
Did you get right out of the truck and chase her right
I
then?
did not.
Oh, man.
I was too busy like, what just
All right.
happened? So of course, I started calling her. She started calling me a few weeks later. We ended up at Bhutan's, of all places, which was Route 61. Now I think it's still closed. I don't think it's anything. And we're like, look, if we're going to do this, we're going to get married. So we kind of hashed it all out and never looked back. And 8 months later, we were engaged. And 8 months later after that, we were
They could make a
married.
movie about you guys. That's like a cool.
21
Cool
years,
story.
man.
Oh yeah, you could write that story.
So before, whenever you were, I guess she said you were too romantic.
Yeah, too nice.
Were you just being fake? When you watch movies, you're like, "Yo, girl, let me tell." Were you being a little fake,
tried
or was
it
that
all,
really?
didn't
Were you
work.
just saying your feelings to her?
I was saying my feelings to her, but they were over the top. Like, it was too soon.
Yeah.
Probably too soon would be the best way to put it.
All right.
We've been dating a month, and I'm like, oh, girl, I love you.
Maturity does something. Immaturity can. And not saying you were immature, but you probably
no,
were
I
young,
was.
So,
No, I was
But you
immature.
see that with kids today. I mean, you say kids today. It was kids then too.
Yeah.
But like middle schoolers especially, they're in love and
Thanks.
they're gonna spend together, the rest of their lives, and it's just immaturity.
Did you-
And what's sad is that can totally truly ruin everything. Like it can
Oh, it
cause
can.
so many problems. I think the Lord was in it and helped spare y'all what could have been a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, he
but-
wasn't done with us.
exactly.
So-
clearly, yeah.
He, again, we had to go focus on him, and then as we focused on him, he brought our paths back together, and it's been a wonderful journey. She's my best friend. You both you can attest to this. You don't hear the voice of the Holy Spirit more than you do through your wife, and she shouldn't hear the voice of the Holy Spirit more than she does through us, through us as husbands. And so she's been my helpmate. She's been my best friend. We've had our ups and downs. We're still two different people, so we still have two different opinions sometimes. But we are one, and it's been an amazing journey. We wanted to be that couple. When we prayed, we didn't know what we were praying for. We know the target. We were like, we want to be that example. We want to be a good marriage and a good example. Had no idea the target we put on our back.
Mm-hmm.
So we've worked our butts off in the communication department, because it's next to your relationship with Christ. It's the most important part of your marriage.
So I guess in the roles that you had, everyone's sort of all up in your business, right? Like you're
Always.
always hanging out with people. Everyone knows you. You go in a restaurant, probably everyone knows you in the restaurants and things like that.
Sometimes, yeah. A few people. I mean, it's Baton Rouge ain't that big either. And, you kind of, between these two worlds, you get the honor to meet a lot of different people. So you say a lot of hello to a lot of people. And so it's fun.
So your wife, she's a worship leader?
So she's a worship leader at heart.
Okay.
My father-in-law's a pastor in Zachary.
Yeah.
Calvary, that's his old church, Passion Connection Church.
Mm-hmm.
And when I married his daughter, I didn't just marry his oldest daughter, I married his worship leader. And so fast rewind back to me telling you what my grandfather did when he left the ministry. I would spend summers with him traveling to these churches. And I watched him love on these churches, no matter how many people were. Like one day we're at a 20-member church and he loved the pastor the same way. We're at a 1,000-member church, loved the pastor the same way. Back to a 50, 500. We were all over the map. And I watched him love pastors with the same way no matter what. And it kind of put something in me for pastors and for that. So when I'm marrying her, I'm at Healing Place. I'm planning it. I helped plan it. That's where God had me. And but in my heart, I didn't know how to say what I was doing was more important than what he was doing in the kingdom. And so she has continued to help. We went to Healing Place together. Now we're at Family Worship Center together, and she's actually taken more of a break because of this new transition. We're kind of going to church together now in this season a little more, but like she'll be there this Sunday singing for her dad. He's out of town. She's helping cover.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so, but I didn't know how I didn't feel like it. God's kingdom isn't about a church. It's about the church.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The sun does not rise and set on one church. It rises and sets on his church. And so, I've always felt led to make sure we help and walk alongside them as well. And they're the best. I've got the best in-laws. I've got great parents too, but I've got the best in-laws. My mother-in-law's a prayer warrior. When Charlene Wilcutt prays for you, things happen. And
I need to meet her. I need some stuff to
I
happen.
have a list.
Yes. No, she's awesome. When I was traveling missions pastor, I was in trouble if she didn't have my flight itinerary, and she's praying and checking.
It's incredible.
Yeah, no,
that's
it's-
awesome.
it's very special.
We need more people like that.
Very
for
special.
Sure.
And my father-in-law, when people ask me who are the two most successful people I know in my life, I always say Pastor Dino, just because his raw love and how he loves people no matter what. And then I say my father-in-law because I've watched him preach to a room of 10 people. He was invited to this thing that didn't quite turn out the way that church wanted it to. And he gave it his all. And then I've seen him preach to his measure of success is based on how he loves people. And he loves people well, and so very fortunate to been able to help them, walk alongside them as well.
I love that.
Awesome.
I've been wanting to do in my backyard. I have like a gazebo with some lighting and things like that. I was wanting to do like a worship night out there. You
Yeah,
think
that'd
your
be
wife
cool.
would want to like lead? I can set up a
Oh,
sound
I'm sure she
system and
would. You
everything.
can ask her. Now that I'm putting her on the spot, and it's on.
She don't
It's
have to.
Hey, if she can
If she
sing,
wants to.
that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
yeah.
But that would be fun. Well, it's been
Cool.
been a pleasure. I
mean,
feel like we learned a lot about you,
That's
Jeff.
what today was about. We wanted to learn
Yeah.
about you.
And we can come on board with everyone else that's ever met you and say that Jeff's a great guy.
Well, man, I'm an open book. Let you see what you get. And this is actually my first time doing something like this. So
Really? This is
Yeah.
like our 5th time, so we're not far
Yeah.
along. As
I
you can
loved
tell,
it.
we really don't know what we're
I
doing.
loved it. I was actually worried with the three of us, the little time we've got to spend together, with that there's a chance we might get culture canceled after this one because we can
I don't know what that means.
we can have a little fun.
Culture now.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it more. Like I said, I think we get better every time, a little
Yeah.
more natural.
Oh, I'm behaving myself today, just so you know. I mean, this is me behaved. I mean, I'm looking over at Craig.
Josh
for,
is a little,
You know, I'm holding back here. But the next time,
because we want to get to know him seriously. If people, we don't want
Exactly.
people to watch this and they
Craig,
want us to know
we
that
had
this is a serious
conversation.
person.
I get it. I agree with you.
Next time we'll
These are
start.
so
Next time we'll start
unplanned.
jabbing at you like we do.
I'm
Gabe.
good for it.
All right.
Yeah. We won't hold back next time, promise.
I'm
But
good
you got to
for it.
return the favor.
Oh, I'm good for
And
it.
and we'll talk about Craig's experiences, his shoe collection. I mean, we've got a lot to talk about with Craig.
I like it.
So Josh, as your HOA president,
He is.
how would you rate him on a scale from 1 to 10?
You mean from 9 to 10? Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
9.5.
So there's room for
No,
improvement.
he-
Obviously,
Found is
we
currently
all-
off, so that's where that half a point.
All jokes aside, Josh, no, you've done a great job managing all the multiple personalities in that neighborhood.
Well, it's I treat it as a form of ministry.
Yes.
So, yeah. Well, when you're on the board next year, we'll have you come back on, and I'm not going to be on there forever, you know.
No.
You know, I mean, what? What?
You take this job more serious than any HOA president in history, I think. But it's good. You're
But
setting a new
you wanna know
standard.
something? I think I'm the nicest one though, because if somebody gets one of those violation notices,
That's a well-oiled
It gets
machine over
way-
there.
He had a lot to undo.
that's with vendors, with homeowners, with residents, with people that don't even live in our neighborhood.
You want to say names and you get me sued? Let's say,
Nope. No, because you would if I said that.
Yes, you would.
really would.
You
But
really
it's a
would.
great neighborhood to live in, so and they take walks. At any given time, you can drive through and see Jeff and Carlene taking a walk. It's just wonderful.
well, he's looking. Can I say that you're looking at moving? No, I'm not gonna say that.
I mean, we're always looking at moving,
Yeah.
Okay.
but yeah, we've got our eyes. Yeah, we start.
We
this is our
talked about-
first-
we
this is our
talked about
first
this.
house. So I mean, we before this we were in. Oh man, I'll just say it this way: we started out. Bethany and I, when we got together, we were in a 1-bedroom, 3rd floor apartment. Stairs.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Exactly. Oh, and everything else. We had 2 dogs, and then Jonah came along, so we had a baby in the pack and play, not even a crib, pack and play, next to us in the bedroom. We had, I think, a total of around 800, maybe 800 square feet. That was the whole box. I mean, the whole apartment.
Yeah.
We called it the compartment, actually.
Yeah.
So that's where we started, and then we moved into a condo that had 2 bedrooms and a hallway. And we felt like we were just, what's the term, high cotton, tall cotton. We felt
Yeah.
like we were something. And so when the opportunity came up to finally move into a house, which was 9 years ago, that's where we ended up.
That's awesome.
So we're grateful for the house. Don't get me wrong. That's why I told that whole story. Even if we do move
That's-
one day, we're
yeah.
grateful for the place.
That's only our second house.
Really? Okay. All right. Is it your forever house?
No.
See?
No.
We're going to move into Craig's neighborhood.
We've been moving for 10 years.
We're all right by each other.
Yeah.
It's true.
We actually there was a lot over there. It was a house with a side lot. The old man passed away.
Yep.
Carlene actually sent a letter with like a picture of the family. We're not
I
crazy.
think that old man that passed away might have been our
We may
HOA
have been the HOA
president.
president.
So why are we laughing? This guy died. So sorry.
Well, we have
HOA.
another traumatic story in the neighborhood, but we're not going to go there.
No, that was it for next time.
yeah,
No
but-
names on that one.
yeah. That's
All right, next time though, what we'll have to do, this will be fun. We need to get the wives on.
yes, that would be
Can
fun.
we accommodate everybody in this room?
Yeah.
get the women's perspectives, or at least Carlene.
We can share a mic.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
No,
why
we
not?
have enough. We could do 6. I have 2 lapel mics. We can
Might
put
be
some
fun.
on this.
It'll be a blast.
That
They've
would
been
be
hanging out enough together.
We've committed your wife to like 4 things already.
We just won't let her see it. And she'll.
No, you gotta let her see. We gotta get their opinions before this even airs.
No.
No, it's all good. This was fun.
Yeah,
I-
thank you,
about
man.
This is
Thank you
awesome.
for your time, Jeff.
No,
This has
thank
been
you. It
really
means a lot.
great, for sure.
Glad to
Gosh.
be here.
Glad to be that third wheel.